So we've all had the adage that if you want to hide anything from an African, keep it in a book or hide it in a book. Well, I would disagree, because I believe probably way back then we didn't need the books, because our grannies or our parents did a good job of transferring of the knowledge that they had about life through, folk tales, and through, the gatherings around the fires in the evening. That's when they would actually share the knowledge that they had. They didn't need the books. Yeah, but of course now the times have changed, and the best way to keep information is to keep it in a book. Yeah, and I also feel that you can't read all books, because there are so many that they're bestsellers every single year, every single month probably. So you can't read all books, but there are a few books that I feel that every man or everyone that has like proper intentions about their life should read. And one of the books I would actually recommend is The Personal MBA. It is a book written by Josh Kaufman, and I've been reading it for the past few weeks. And I would say this book solves one of the biggest problems that most would-be entrepreneurs go through while trying to become entrepreneurs, because most of the times you're bombarded with a lot of formal business knowledge. Someone will tell you you need to make a business plan, you need to have a balance sheet, you need to register your business, you need to do all these things. But actually what this book does is simplifies business lingua, high-level business lingua, and brings it down to what the layman should be able to understand. And for me, I'm not so much of a reader, but I do read once in a while when I have time. But I've gone through a few chapters of this book, and I feel that it is not a gimmick. It's real information broken down to be able to be palatable for somebody that does not have a lot of business knowledge, someone that has not done an MBA. So you really get to understand concepts like marketing and all the things that actually surround the whole business idea. So this is a book I would really recommend. So one of the things I like about this book is that at every chapter or at every subtopic, it has a quote, a powerful quote that you can always memorize, and it will always lead back to that information that you were able to read from that chapter, and then you'll be able to memorize the entire essence of that chapter. So today, of course, talking about books is a bit unusual. It's not something I do. I'm not a person that reads a lot, but when I get an opportunity, I'll pick up a book. Like now, when I'm just relaxing, I pick up a book and read, and hopefully I'm able to update my knowledge about things, about business, about photography, about everything. And the other thing is that as Africans, we need to break the narrative that Africans actually do not read. One of my biggest motivators is when somebody says a negative statement about me, when someone says that Africans don't actually read books, my natural instinct is going to be geared towards disproving that negative narrative about me. So I would say, as photographers, as filmmakers, let's pick up books. I mean, all the knowledge is in the books. Let's pick up the books and read them and actually practice what they say. I mean, and then you should also be able to discern which kind of knowledge you need and which kind of knowledge you don't need, because there's a lot of information. We live in an information age where there's plenty of information, and sometimes sifting through the information to get exactly what serves you or what is relevant to your situation is a little bit more difficult. So you have to have some sort of discretion as to which books you should read and which books shouldn't read. And even when you pick up a huge volume of a book, it doesn't mean you need to read it cover to cover, but then you could actually pick up a book and just peruse through and then pick out interesting chapters that might be relevant to you. So reading should be easy for all of us, but the one way to become a reader is to practice. Keep practicing. I know, then the other thing I just want to talk about reading is that reading, like any other activity, takes time to become interesting. The first few pages that you're reading are going to be, you're going to need a lot of energy to read the first few pages. But then as you read on and the book gets a little bit more interesting, then the reading also becomes a lot easier. So I'd say pick up a book, and truth is, the first few pages, the first few chapters, it's going to be like, pushing this huge weight, and sometimes actually dozing off if you had a heavy lunch. So pick up a book, read through it mechanically, but along the way, you get into it and it becomes a habit. And I would say you do not have to also compare yourself with other readers. I've checked out online on YouTube, and there are people, and there are these people who be like, I read a book every day, and I'm like, yo, what do you spend your day doing? Just reading a book? So the fact that we have busy schedules, I don't think you're able to read a book a day unless you don't have anything to take care of. But if you have work to take care of, you have your health to take care of, you have to exercise, you have to do all these other things, and also the hustle and bustle of town, then there's no way you're going to read a book a day. So I would say maybe pick up a book and keep it by your side every time to remind you that you need to read it. And you don't have to read like 10 chapters. You could read 3 pages or 4, and the next time you read 3, next time you're able to read a chapter. So it is something that develops gradually. I have a friend who always said, man, you don't need to read a book, just watch a movie, because same thing, information coming in, and this time you're not doing anything, you're just watching and taking in information. But I would say there's something special about reading, because as you read a book, there is a way your brain actually connects with each and every word that you're reading. The thing with reading is that it improves your imagination, your sense of imagination. Every single word you read, you imagine it. And what the movies actually do, they do what your brain would have done, visualizing what is actually in the book, which I would say, well, it's more entertaining, but I would say books are more engaging to the mind, because every word that you read, you want to interpret it. And then the other thing is, of course, books help you to improve your vocabulary. One of the reasons why people can't actually articulate themselves is that they lack a formidable or a strong vocabulary base to be able to articulate their feelings, their ideas, and their concepts. I would say reading is one of the ways to actually accumulate a little bit of more vocabulary to best express your ideas, to best express your feelings and concepts. So pick up a book. If you're a photographer and filmmaker, it will help you to visualize things, it will help you to improve your articulation, because I believe most of our work revolves around articulation of a business plan, articulation of your film concept, and all these things. So today, pick up a book, and I would really recommend this book.